This hits me the way I like to be hit.
Oh, you like to be hit?
But hey, anything within reason.
All right, welcome back to another fun episode of the Reentry Buzz, a short format episode where we like to do blind tastings of randomly sampled whiskey. So this week we have poured out the exact same pour. We don't know what it is. We have a method for doing that. It involves a lot of numbers and a lot of stickers. And for that, moving forward, so we want to go over the rules again, or the how we do this competition. So we drink. No need for ice or water. We're drinking it neat. If we wanted to, we could, I guess. If that gives you an advantage, you could. But we're looking for type of whiskey. We're looking for secondary grain if that is applicable. And if not, you can still get points for saying not applicable if there is no secondary grain. You can say the distillery, you get points for that. You get points for getting close to the proof within 5 proof points. Age within 5, or what was it? 3 within age, and you'll get more the closer you are to the exact age. Is it finished? We're assuming it's finished. If you don't get points for saying if it is finished, you say assuming it is finished, what's the finish? Otherwise, all bets are off. And then we're making a full bottle guess. So that's how we do it. We keep it short, we keep it sweet, but I'm really intrigued by this one. It is a very dark pour. I'm guessing by the look of it, I haven't smelled it yet. Maybe a American or a finished whiskey, maybe like something like a what you'd expect of a what is it, a Aberlour Abuna or something like that, like a dark finished something. If it is not American,
It looks flavorful.
Yeah, it looks packed. Yeah. So we're going to take a sip. We're going to say, before we talk about notes or take the break before we go to notes, we're going to say, how much would you pay for this right off the bat? And then we'll give notes like the nose, the palate, the finish. And then we will see who wins the competition. So what do you say we sniff and sip?
Oh, I'm sniffing already.
Cheating.
It's a tricky
hard thing. Yeah, it's not like obviously something.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing. Is I pretty much can sort out 1 or 2 types, but there's a lot that I'm like, this could be that.
On the nose, I will say the nose corroborates the quote unquote flavorful color. I think the color points to flavorful. The nose points to flavorful.
Yeah.
Yeah. This I'll just appearance and nose point to Brian's gonna like this. So I'm about to sip here.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Oh yeah. I like this a lot. Okay, wait. This hits me the way I like to be hit.
Oh, you like to be hit?
But hey, anything within reason. But this the flavor is a little lacking in the flavor department, but it's punchy and it's bold. And okay, how much would I pay for it? I think I'd pay. I got to stick with my gut, and I was just right away. I was going to say $80.
Yeah, I was thinking 75 myself.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to sip. We're going to take some notes down, but we're going to take a break so that you're not bored while we're doing so. And then we'll be back. We'll give you some notes, and then we'll also make our guesses in that time frame. But then we will see who won after that break. So here we go to the first break. All right. I feel pretty good, but I might be way wrong. So let's talk about some notes real quick. Brian, what'd you get notes wise?
So notes. Okay. So on the nose, I get this dusty. I get this old, oaky leather cherry on the nose, and the cherry carried into the palate like in a medicinal way. So on the palate, I was getting like a
Ah,
medicinal cherry with a
I could
lot
see that.
of oak. And
Yeah.
then it took a sip or two for me to get to the point where that oak was really like tannic and mouth drying.
Huh.
So I feel like it had some great older oak feel with
Yeah.
medicinal cherry. And the I will say though that it wasn't the ideal place to be in that scenario is to have the finish be really sweet so that it's
Uh-huh.
a sweet oak cherry. That would be just perfect. But
Yeah.
the finish stayed with the needle pegged over on the side of like ethanol with like a
Okay.
like punchy bitterness. So
Yeah.
all in all, I felt like it was a little more on the harsh bitter ethanol punch with
Mhm.
medicinal cherry and dry tannic oakiness.
Mhm. I like that. Yeah. For myself, I kind of met in the berry zone as well, but more so like blueberry, blackberry range.
Ooh,
Dark berries, I like to say. I wrote down nice brown sugary dark berries, subtle though on the berries.
brown sugar for sure. I like that.
Mm-hmm. And I said on the nose, it wasn't very obvious. It was if it was a bourbon or a rye. Once I took a sip, though, I was pretty darn sure it was a bourbon. I said dark berries, leaning blackberries, like with hints of blueberries, seems obviously more of a bourbon to me. High rye or high proof, and much higher than the nose brought out on the proof. Um, but I got a hint of brown Foreman juice there. A
Ooh,
hint of brown Foreman
okay.
juice, which sometimes brown Foreman, like especially like Old Forester, reminds me of the slightest bit of sweet hints of banana bread. So that's what I was leaning towards a little bit. My finish, I said very pleasant, really nice fade with dark fruits and white sugar on the finish. So
Nice.
that's what I said. So I'm gonna go through my picks real quick, and then you can go to yours. I'm leaning bourbon here with a rye secondary grain distillery. I'm going all out here. I normally go all out. Old Forester, going Old Forester here. I said proof 123 ish, but that's 123 is my bet. Age 8 ish. Um, I said finished, not applicable, but if anything, sherry. um, and we Brian and I have decided that not this episode, but next episode, we will just say not applicable will get you points if it's not finished. Um, but bottle guess was Old Forester bourbon or barrel proof bourbon, that is.
Nice.
And yeah, so that's my guess. That's my guess.
All right, all right. Running through mine. All right. So I
Okay.
also decided bourbon. There's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of corn sweetness here
Okay.
that really made me think 51% corn at least.
Nice.
So I decided to go, and this goes against my taste buds a little bit,
Okay.
but I decided to go secondary grain wheat.
Ooh.
It's got all the fruitness and sweetness. My heart wants to say that sweetness comes from wheat grain,
Okay.
and with the cherry, I just couldn't get past my brain originally saying Buffalo Trace. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this is Buffalo Trace.
Ain't
Uh,
no way.
yeah, and so
Not
Cole
to trash
goes.
talk or anything, but there ain't
Shut
no
it.
way.
Shut it. Cole goes very narrow minded and
I
Cole
do.
goes really specific into exactly what bottle he thinks it is.
Mm.
Problem with
You
me
spread
is
it out.
I don't have a bottle guess. Time ran
Mm.
out. I don't have a bottle guess, but I am the shotgun approach. I'm going wide here. I'm saying Buffalo
Love it.
Trace. I loved your proof guess though. You said 123. I said
That's right.
122.
Nice. So it's gonna come down to it.
Yeah, fingers crossed that it's 117.
Yeah, exactly.
uh Age, I talked about dry tannic oakiness, but still for
Mm.
age I put 6 years
Okay.
because there's a lot of burn, there's a lot of ethanol here. It's almost as if it's like it was aged in a hot climate where it
Yeah.
absorbed a lot of barrel oakiness and it got really tannic and really oaky, but only over 6 years ish.
That's a good point.
I did say yes for finish, and this is probably the thing
Mm.
I feel most confident about.
Okay.
I think that it's a double oaked finish.
Oh.
Yeah. So I get a lot of that woody oakiness
Mhm.
that sometimes can be
I could see
interpreted
that,
as a
especially for a
cherry.
younger.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
And double oaked is a very common way to mask a younger
Yeah.
whiskey
Mhm.
harshness. And again, for my bottle guess, I did not have one. Time ran out.
Mm.
I didn't want to drag it on any longer than it was. I'll put up the white flag on the bottle guess. No bottle guess for me.
No, it's all good. All right. So we're gonna do the bottle reveal, and then we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll discuss the results. So here it is. I have it right with me here. Here we go.
Oh no!
Oh man, Cole racks it up.
Oh boy.
So
All right, I'm
for
out. We'll
those,
see you guys
yeah.
later.
So
Have a
yeah,
good night,
exactly.
everyone.
Old Forester. Oh, but it's a rye. So I was way off. Okay, Old Forester rye, single barrel strength, and we'll get it. And it's a 132.2 proofer.
Damn.
So we'll be right back. We'll go over the scores and then we'll bring the results after this real quick. Wow, we're back. And though I guessed the distillery right, maybe I didn't guess too many other things right. So we're breaking it down here. In terms of the type of whiskey, we were both way off. Not way off, but it was a rye and not a bourbon. So neither of us got points there. Secondary grain, I said rye, Brian said wheat, and neither of us were right because apparently the secondary grain is malted barley. And so that is a no-go there.
You
On the
get you
distillery,
get
Cole got some
emotional
points.
points. You get
Uh-huh.
emotional points in the heart. You said
Yeah.
rye for secondary.
Yeah.
You were like this. You were close.
I don't know. It was only because it was a bourbon, and I assumed it was Old Forester bourbon. So
It's so sweet though. It's the
yeah.
sweetest rye. And
Hmm.
it's not there's no spice, there's no candy
Hmm.
sweet. It is a full-blown corn whiskey
Yeah, yeah.
sweetness that's in this thing.
Do you know you looked up the mash bill, right? What was it like?
It was 65% rye
Uh-huh.
and then only, I don't know, 20-ish percent
That's a
corn.
higher rye than I would have expected
Yeah.
for this. So, but on the distillery, Cole got a win for guessing the distillery right. And that's Old Forester. I guess that brown Foreman notes, but I knew it wasn't Jack Daniels, or at least I hoped it wasn't. And then Brian said Buffalo Trace, no points for him. So I got 5 points for distillery. Proof, we were both way off. We both said 123, 122, respectively. And the proof was 132.2. So no points if you're not within 5.
Yeah, very
Um,
pleasant proof on this. That
mhm.
132, I
Yeah.
mean, there's proof on this for sure, but
Yeah.
it does not drink like 132. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. They're doing a good job here. No age statement. And so both of us, all bets were off for the age, even though I said 8, Brian said 6. Finish. Like I said, next time we're going to say not applicable is a true vote, but I said not applicable. But if anything, Sherry, Brian said double oaked. Neither of us were right. It does not seem to be finished at all.
Which is super
Um,
interesting because
mhm,
I'm like, I totally get the sherry note. I'd
yeah.
agree with you on a review that there's a sherry note,
Yeah, I
and
can dig it. Yeah.
it's a brown Foreman rye
Hmm.
that
Just
it,
similar to what we entry buzzed on.
yeah, Yeah,
Although that
right?
wasn't a or that wasn't a sherry finish. So anyway,
Yeah, but still, I mean, I had a sherry finish Brown Forman as an
that's
entry
true.
buzz. Yeah.
That is true.
There's totally like a fruity sherry note here that's a
Mhm.
really interesting note, but wrong, just as wrong as I was though.
Wrong. Well, we're practicing. We're building ourselves up. I said for the bottle, I said Old Forester barrel proof bourbon.
Way off.
Way off. Couldn't be more off than that. But it was Old Forester barrel proof rye. And so that's how it goes. Cole gets 5 points. Bryan gets 0 this week. But I want to remind all of our listeners that we did a test episode and Bryan won that test episode. What was that
Yeah.
again?
We'll be I don't know. I don't care. We'll be 10 episodes in. You'll be talking about that pre-episode that Bryan won, and that's
That's
it.
true. I'll
The
just
goal
defend
now
you
is
all
to go
these
as
times.
many episodes as I can with 0 points. So
So this
stay
gives
tuned.
me there's 2 wins to Cole and 1 draw, right?
Yeah, there was a draw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got no points last episode, I don't think.
Oh yeah,
So.
that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. So
God, we're
welcome, guys. I
professionals.
guess this probably went a little long than the 10 minutes we intended, but it was good. And Cole's very proud of himself. And Elmo is the best. I don't know. Sometimes I don't like use pronouns. I just like to say, like Elmo does, you know?
Yeah, Elmo. Yeah.
Elmo doesn't use pronouns. Cole
No.
doesn't use pronouns. What's that? You ever watch Seinfeld?
Yes.
So what's that one guy? He's like, Joey likes you. Like something like that.
I don't
You
know.
know what I'm talking about with
No way I'm
Elaine?
gonna
He like
remember fast enough.
Elaine's boyfriend or something like Jimmy. It was
Elaine has
Jimmy. I think it was Jimmy.
God,
Like,
Elaine has a
he's
lot
like,
of great boyfriends though.
yeah.
The
Especially
maestro.
David Putty. Yeah, the maestro. That's great. All right, guys. We will see you next time on the Reentry Buzz. Appreciate you guys checking in. We'll see you next time.